Good afternoon, my friends. This is Bobby here with Week 2's 5 Ticks Modern Team Super League, otherwise known as the Battle for the Box, weekly recap. This week we had Bust Down Liliana's taking on End of Turn, Fact or Fiction, You Lose. Bust Down Liliana's had a pretty good week last week, pulling in, I think, a couple wins and a loss. And End of Turn, Fact or Fiction were on bye. So this is their first taste of the Team Super League. So jumping right into the counter pick, this week, Bust Down Liliana had their Living End deck vetoed, which I think we're going to probably see as a consistent theme throughout this season. And End of Turn had their Boggles deck vetoed. So in talking with the team captain of Bust Down Liliana, Mr. Stephen Mirabito, he said his team came in very, very afraid this week. They were scared of the decks that EOT were bringing. And yeah, that's part of the reason why they wanted to get rid of Boggles. They felt like a lot of their decks were playing fair, and Boggles beats up on fair decks. So they wanted to get rid of that, get it out of there. They felt like Tron and Mill were out on their side because they felt that EOT's land destruction decks and dredge decks had pretty good matchups against Tron and Mill. So like I said, they decided playing fair was probably their best shot. And the strategy was rewarded as they felt, and Mirabito felt, that EOT picked a lot of fair decks in response to their deck. So if we take a look at how the pick went, Bust Down Liliana kicked things off with Blue Tempo. EOT followed up with Waterfalls, a Teamer Cascade deck, and Drakes, which is a deck that uses some of those red-blue Drake cards that grow with instants and sorceries, kind of a spell-based tempo deck. Bust Down Liliana then followed up with Boros Cycling and Serra's Ultimatum, which is a polymorph combo deck. And then EOT closed things out with Affinity. So after conferring amongst their team and submitting who they wanted to play which decks, it ended up with Mirabito's Cycling deck in the first seat, taking on Donger's Waterfalls. Running Griffin's Blue Tempo deck in the second seat, taking on Redis Drakes. And what the feature match you'll see in just a moment, Joanneth's Serra's Ultimatum, again, a polymorph kind of combo deck, against Elijah's Affinity. So we're going to get a really big late game go big combo deck going up against low to the ground, get over the line, kill him quickly Affinity deck. Should be a really fun matchup. So I hope you all enjoy the gameplay, and we'll see you on the other side to talk about the rest of the results from this week's gameplay.
Good afternoon, my friends. This is Juggernaut. I'm joined by Dan. Today we are spectating in the 5-Tick Super League. Elijah on a blue-white Affinity deck, and Joe on a 5-Tick Serra's Emissary Ultimatum Polymorph deck. So it should be pretty interesting. Dan, if you want to talk about the Affinity deck for a second.
Hey, guy. So, yeah, Elijah's got kind of a slower hand, but he's got what he needs. He has some lands, he's got a border post, Prism, and then he's got both halves of his combo with Thopter, Foundry, and Sword of the Meek.
Oh, very nice. Looks like we've opened on kind of a stinker here for Joe. And I honestly, I don't even know where to start with this deck. It looks super sweet. Serra's Emissary, for all of those who don't know what Serra's Emissary does, the Modern Horizons 2 card. It is a 7-mana 7/7 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you choose a card type, and then you and creatures you control have protection from cards of the chosen type. So the goal of this deck is to cheat it out either with polymorph and tokens or with a emergent ultimatum. And just cheat it onto the battlefield. Ideally 2 of them, so you can't lose to removal spells or creature spells. Or creatures, I guess, attacking. It's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. So, yeah, from Elijah, we're going to see him just run out his Foundry here. And, yeah, he's basically just all set up to go. It's just a question of if he can present enough pressure on Joe before Joe goes off with the polymorphs.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it looks like he probably will be able to. Our hand, we have 2 Hinterland Harbors. This card that's about to get cast, another Wolf Willow Haven, and then a Worst Fears, which is an 8-mana gain control of target player's next turn. So unless Joe rips some hot gas,
Elijah found a path for his draw step. That's pretty good at stopping the Serra's emissary, because like presumably Joe wants to name either artifacts or creatures in this matchup. So like unless he's already got a good board presence, he's probably not going to feel like he has to name instance, and then like that's going to clear the way for the path. The thing about this combo is like it's pretty mana hungry and it's also pretty slow. So, you know, we have the combo on field, but I think Joe still has plenty of time to draw out of his slow draw.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Joe's deck is definitely one of those where like the opponent can gain a whole bunch of value, put down a whole bunch of permanents, and then if Joe does his thing, it's just kind of locked out, you know?
Yep, absolutely. Although, yeah, so the thing about the Serra's emissary is that like once it's out there, like Joe basically will not take damage from Elijah's stuff. So if Elijah didn't have this path, then he'd be in serious trouble. Like he just wouldn't be able to do anything. Like sure, he has his like ability to make creatures, infinite creatures for however much mana he has, but he wouldn't be able to actually attack for any damage.
Right. Yeah. Now, not for nothing, I haven't seen a free Frogmite cast in a long time. I know Affinity's come back a little bit after Modern Horizons 2, but I haven't seen a free Frogmite in a hot minute. I like it.
Yeah, it feels good. Potentially, we're gonna see also a new Modern Horizons 2 card from Elijah next turn with the Aethersworn Sphinx. So he wasn't able to cast it for free, but like he needs at least a white and a blue. But I think he's got just about enough artifacts here.
Now that's the what is this? It's a bunch of mana for like a 4/4 with Cascade, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Sweet.
So yeah, I mean, mostly just like a straight value card here. Like there's a lot of kind of suspect hits, but it's just like it has a good body and comes down for pretty cheap at this point in the game. So let's see what he gets. Like ideally he hits like a Sojourner's Companion. Oh, he hit it. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
All right,
yeah,
so you know, 2 mana for
one...
8 power. Nice.
It's your casual. I haven't seen that one in a while, or I haven't. I forgot the name of that one. And it's the Thought
Monitor.
What's the draw to? No, the old draw to.
Thought Cast.
Yes, Thought Cast. Yeah, that seems like a pretty solid hit.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we drawn Colony Garden. Should be good if we had a polymorph.
Yeah. Do we have any any of the ultimatum in hand for Joe?
We do. Yeah, we're tapping out for an emergent ultimatum here.
Oh, okay. So if he's casting that, he might just be in really good shape because I don't know if he can whiff, but if he hits, I think he can just like. I mean, well, how many worst fears does he have? Just the one? Yeah, so he wants to be able to cast that off of his emergent ultimatum, I think.
Yeah, so he has one of those in hand. So here he grabs, I guess, Serra's Emissary. He's looking at Kiora, Beast of the Sea.
Hmm.
Then Part the Water Veil, which I guess makes sense. Although I suppose the Elijah wants him to cast the Serra's Emissary just because of this path, right?
Just because of this path, yeah.
Right. This is sweet. As somebody who just like absolutely loves Magic, like I mean, I love Modern. Modern is the format I've delved into. As somebody who just loves Magic, this whole 5/6 thing is just awesome. Like there are so many play patterns you just don't ever see.
Very
like
much
Emergent Ultimatum for Part the Water Veil and Serra's Emissary.
Kind of like a neat hybrid between like regular Modern and then like kitchen table Magic, you know? And it's like a great combination.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you have a lot of
I do just love,
but also just have a lot of like
I do
huge
just love
diversity
kitchen table
cards.
Magic. Oh yeah.
Yeah, kitchen table is great. He did actually choose instance. So I mean, the thing about this though is that like we can just make a lot of creatures and go around this, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty heads up though.
Seeing in the chat, Joe's got the ... I'm
not sure what's going on here.
I wonder if Joe meant to do that or not.
Hmm.
Okay. Did he? Yeah, he cast Part the Water Veil, right? Oh, he's saying
I
he
thought it
didn't
didn't
cast. What did he not cast?
Oh, he thought he thought it didn't cast it. Okay, I guess he didn't understand he had to like pass to his next turn.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've drawn in Asika's Chariot.
Hmm.
We can draw a way to get a Serra's Emissary into play. I think.
Yeah, like
I don't
if you could
know
get two of those.
if you're looking at if you're looking at Elijah's main deck, does he have a way to beat like a Serra's Emissary on instant, Serra's Emissary on creature?
I think that would be a full lock.
Yeah, exciting.
Like he doesn't have any
That's-
sorcery speed removal. He doesn't have any other ways to deal with anything. Like it's just the pass.
No Teferi's Time Raveler here.
No Teferi's Time Raveler, no Force of Negation, no Rizza, none of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is that would be pretty serious.
My last match was I was playing red white burn in this against a blue white control opponent, and I kept joking. I was like, "All right, no force negation, come on."
So we're making some more creatures. Just
See, I don't know who
trying to
I'm
auto yield to as much of this as possible.
Yeah,
Say again?
I don't know who I'm rooting for. I was just saying I don't know who I'm rooting for here. Both these decks look sweet.
Hmm.
Leathersworn Sphinx. Are we getting a sus hit? Not too bad. I guess it just quickens the clock a little bit.
Yeah, not the worst hit by far.
So this Affinity deck seems a lot more value oriented, a little bit slower, which I guess is probably good for the matchup for Joe.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
No attacks. He drew Swamp for turn. Just cast his Worst Fears, yeah.
Yeah, just like another draw step and
Oh, wait, that's actually insane. Other Foundry can sacrifice itself.
you can.
He says, "Geez."
Yeah, another ultimatum here would be really good, but like just the worst fears alone is like pretty good.
Yeah, I think.
Elijah's gonna.
I did this on purpose. But I think Joe may have been bluffing it,
so he doesn't get one of his better creatures path instead. Usually a heads up play.
Makes sense.
Good.
Makes sense. This is just classic modern, you know. Your Serra's Emissary, an Ultimatum, Polymorph
Yeah,
deck.
it's all pretty
Yeah.
normal stuff. Yeah.
It's your standard stuff. So let's see what Joe does. So I do hear Spike say this a lot, and I agree with it, that Emrakul, the Promised End, probably leaves like the most misplays out of any card. Just because like when you're taking control of an opponent's turn, there are so many options to you. Always find these kind of interesting. They like gain control of a player's turn.
Makes a lot of sense.
So I guess if you've looked over the blue white Affinity left, like what does he kind of need here? Like another combo piece?
I think the main thing is he just wants to keep doing his thing, just keep putting more things on the board that draw. Joe isn't able to make another Serra's Emissary like we talked about.
Well, I guess this is a lot of attackers, right?
Let's
see. So if he
the awkward thing about the Foundry though is that Joe's gonna be able to sacrifice like a bunch of he's gonna be able to downgrade basically like a bunch of those creatures and get rid of the Foundries.
Right.
And also he can eat something for free with the Emissary. Yeah, he's gonna have
Foundry's exact text here.
It says he can sacrifice a non-token artifact.
Okay. And then does
Oh,
Sword
yeah,
of the
he
Meek
can,
say
yeah.
may return?
Um,
It does. Okay, so you can just sacrifice Sword of the Meek. I guess it doesn't really do a whole lot. Then sacrifice Thopter Foundry.
yeah, he should be able to decimate a lot of what Elijah's got going on, but like Elijah's still gonna have draws. And yeah, and he does have a lot of grinding power in his deck. Like, you know, he could like Thoughtcast into like a bunch of more Thoughtcasts and like other things. So he could rebuild, but yeah, if he does have to dodge like another way to make an emissary from Joe.
Yeah.
With the world trees, is Joe able to make like white mana like sufficient to cast an emissary if he just draws one of those?
All right, I need to refresh on what the world tree reads. Okay, so tap that one of any color. Let's see.
So he needs 3 white.
I think so, because those enchantments, the Wolf Willow, make them
I think
tap
they
for any
just make
color, right?
green.
No, it makes an additional green.
I think if he had like one more world tree or some other way to make one white source. Oh no. Does the
Oh
world tree
no,
give
the
them
world tree
all the
gives
ability?
everything. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it
yeah.
gives all the
So
ability. So
he can
yeah,
just
he
cast
can just cast it.
yeah, that's actually huge. So then he's got just way more live draws. Joe does here.
Right, yeah. So there's the 2 Serra's emissaries.
Like
There's
polymorph
3
would do it for
more
sure.
ultimatums, and then 4 polymorphs.
Mm. I think he's got another Perth of Waterville.
Mm.
Like Elijah's regretting not using his foundries on his turn, just to like minimize the damage that Joe could do.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I guess he should have like sacrificed Thopter Foundry before he let Joe have at it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good idea, but maybe like a little bit hard to envision. Okay, so he actually drew another one. That's a good draw for him, like on his turn, so he can try to rebuild.
I assume that he's just gonna cast it right now, and then he
Um,
doesn't have the mana, huh?
I don't think
He
he's
doesn't
gonna
have
have
the mana
enough
to cast
mana.
it.
Looks like
Okay.
he's sacrificing more things to Sai. Oh yeah, the Sai is actually really good for Joe. I wasn't considering that at all. Oh, he can sacrifice the Thopters as well, and yeah, and the lands. This is
I guess
oof,
Prophetic Prism
looking
taps for
really
a mana,
rough.
doesn't it?
Pardon me?
Does Prophetic Prism does it filter mana or tap for a mana?
It filters the mana. Yeah, it doesn't make mana on its own.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess with that untapped land, there was enough to cast Thopter Foundry and then sack it to itself.
He did draw the Thopter Foundry like in combat. So, and then also, yeah, I guess you can see the hand, right? Because you're looking at Joe's side.
Right, right.
Like the Thoughtcast is another like fine draw here. Okay, so we're gonna do all this. Yeah, this all makes sense.
Wow. Hardcast Worst Fears being not the worst card ever here.
Not the worst.
All right, so like I said, Joe has a lot of live draws. Callous Dismissal. Not one of the most live.
Not one of the best ones.
Oh, he could return Serra's Emissary. Okay, I was gonna say he could return Serra's Emissary and then hardcast a named creature.
Yeah.
And get him dead.
I don't know if there's
I
like
don't know if that's right to
a
do.
huge reason to name creature over artifact. I think that like it's mostly just Psi and things that don't have very much power.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
But yeah, basically the same point. Yeah, it is looking like yeah, like Elijah's gonna have to like just go ham on the draw steps, like off of the Thoughtcast and stuff, and Joe's gonna have to brick in a pretty serious way from this position.
Yeah, it's been sweet to see. Like we said at the beginning, like Joe's playing one of those decks where if like his opponent just does a whole bunch of stuff, gains a whole bunch of value, he has the outs to just win.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah definitely had a pretty serious board state. feel like that hurt a lot. Like it hurt a lot.
The worst fears you like?
What's that?
Which card do you like a lot?
Oh, I was reading the chat. He said I feel like that hurt a lot. Talking about
Oh,
take and hit the
yeah.
Elijah's turn.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like it hurt a lot.
Okay, this is pretty big. So we got 2 Thoughtcasts ready to go here, and the Foundry boat.
Ooh.
So let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, we got another Sphinx. Yeah, like this
Okay.
is the kind of stuff that he wants to see
Okay.
here for sure.
Yeah. Big hits.
Yeah, that's one of the worst cascades.
Yeah, one of the sus hits we were talking about.
Yep. Kind of surprised to not see Elijah like lead on the second Thoughtcast. I guess he knows that he wants to cast Foundry this turn.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we're in another spot where we have like almost infinite blockers.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Joe probably should have taken that 3 mana last turn and used it to cast Opter Foundry, sacrifice it to itself. But I don't know, I can't blame him for, missing something small like that in a pretty ridiculous turn. Oh, snap.
Did we hit a whammy?
Hit a whammy.
Uh-oh.
There's a polymorph. All right, so that's probably
Yeah,
the
it looks
hard
like
lock.
we're going to be going to a game 2. Yep. Elijah's going to pack it in
Yep.
here. I did want to briefly key in on Elijah had like a pretty interesting line here where he kept a Frogmite in hand to go with a Psy that he drew off of the second Thoughtcast. So he's going to be able to just make an extra Thopter with the Psy.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we're sideboarding here. Looks like we're bringing Extinction Events, looking at Boseiju, taking out Callous Dismissals. Which I guess that makes sense against the just kind of puke your hand out kind of stuff. What's Elijah doing over there?
Yeah, he brought in his counter spells, the Formentalic Rebuke, and he's taken out just like some of the dorkier artifacts, like some stars, some prisms, a few of the Sphinx. He was considering taking out companions as well, but I guess he decided he just wants that pressure.
That makes sense.
He's also looking at cutting the size, which I kind of like. It like he kind of got ruined by the size, like with the gaining control of the turn effects, and also they're just like a really slow card in general. Like he just wants to be playing a kind of a pseudo Death Shadow role, I think, in this sort of matchup where he wants to just like have a crucial counterspell at the right time and like just have a lot of pressure, and like size like not a part of any of that.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, shout out to our man Joe here. Sphinx of the Final Word, I think, is one of like just the sweetest cards. I used to play it in a control deck I played. Just as like in the control mirror, you play it and they can't ever win ever.
That is a legit
awesome
card. I love it. He's also got the Thrun too, so he's just all in on the uncounterable stuff. Get out, counter spells. Like
yeah, I love it. So we have kind of a weird hand here. We've got Colony Garden and Polymorph, which obviously is like exactly what we want to be doing. But we don't have any blue mana. Oh no, we have this Growth Spasm here. Okay, Growth Spasm can find us our blue mana. Okay. And it's less interesting.
Yeah, Growth Spasm is definitely one of his better like setup cards for sure. Elijah's hand is like it's goodish. He's got a path. He's got a Thoughtcast. He's got another companion or a Sojourner's Companion, and he's got a third land. So he's kind of got like a good mix of things that he wants. He's just like having to play some tap lands and maybe go a little slower than he'd prefer. Draw of
yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's kind of what I was getting to in game 1, where like Elijah's build of being a little bit less of an aggressive Affinity deck and more of a slow accrue value, just swarm the board and kill you kind of deck isn't quite as good.
Yeah, classic Affinity I think would have a far better time here. Just like play to the board like way earlier, just get them dead. also like potentially play some like cards like Thoughtseize or more interaction in the sideboard.
For sure.
Okay.
So here's something interesting. Do you have a path in hand? Because right now we just played around path. Like we have the polymorph.
Mm-hmm.
So you do like Elijah does have the path in hand.
He does have the path, and potentially is just going to be leaving it up. I'm not sure how much mana he's going to have because he's going to try to do something explosive this turn. So I don't know if he's going to be able to leave it up or not.
Gotcha. Yeah. So here, Joe, he had the opportunity to cast the polymorph and try and go for it, and decided not to. Which I don't know if I would have had that discipline. I mean, game 1 too, like that speed of just slamming the Serra's Emissary, naming instant. I don't know if I would have had that discipline. Probably just gone a creature and hoped for it.
Oh man, yeah, Elijah's being very disciplined here. So he could have played the companion in his hand for 1 mana, but he wants to leave up the path this turn.
It makes a lot of sense.
Super smart.
Makes a lot of sense.
If Joe is thinking about like trying to wait to find like the one of Besage to like just get in like the thing uncounterable, like play around Metallic Rebuke, then I don't know, that's like potentially going to be like pretty tough to do. Like that's a one of, so it's hard to draw, and also it's like the land's entering tapped. That's just giving Elijah a lot of time.
Right.
And like obviously it doesn't play around the
Yeah.
path that we know about.
For sure, yeah, that's a good point. Like from Joe's point of view, he has to kind of decide like around path here, or do I wait and potentially run it, like just walk into counter magic?
Mhm.
But honestly, I mean, I think we're kind of doing it without it. Like we
Yeah,
have the
like
board,
this
we're attacking
chariot's
with the
very
Aesthetic
real.
Chariot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess maybe feels there's not much of a reason to.
Makes sense. I wonder. Yeah, so it is kind of awkward for Elijah, just like really feeling like he has to like hold on to his path. But like if he had like access to like a second one, like it'd be really nice to have been able to path that chariot before I got another trigger. He hit a rebuke this turn. I feel like he's probably gonna maybe move on some of these stars. No, I guess he's gonna have the option to do that like on Joe's turn. But yeah, right now he's just got like all of his interaction up. Potentially try to block the companion.
Yeah,
It's looking
some
like a
interesting
little
stuff
bit
here.
tenuous.
Yeah, we got some interesting stuff. So our hand is polymorph, extinction event, and part the water veil that we just drew for the turn.
Ooh, extinction event. That's a pretty spicy one.
Yeah, so like we could use extinction event just as a like just 1 card kill your 1 card.
Well,
I
would actually, if he chooses odd, like it doesn't remove any of his tokens, yeah, or his chariot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so Elijah is not gonna be able to counter this because Joe's got the 3 mana, or 4 mana even. Oh, my mistake. I was thinking that extinction event hit like non-land permanents, but it's obviously it's just like creatures because it's like a standard power level card. Like, of course, that would be pretty silly. It'd be like crazy, all this dust. Anyway, we are gonna go for the path now. Like, yeah, Elijah's like, I'm dying to these like a million creatures we have. Yeah.
Yep, we got 4 mana here. My screen's slightly blurry. I think that's one of the Wolf Willow Avens on that Colony Garden, which gives us 4 mana for the polymorph. Yep. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Hit an attack with the
we are considering going for a star draw. We're just gonna take it though. And then let's see if he goes for the polymorph. It's probably fine for him to go for it from his perspective, just because like he's winning so much on board. Like he kind of like it doesn't like matter so much if it does get countered, and like it's insane if it resolves.
Yeah, so like here, like it got countered, and oh no, now we have 6 power in play.
Mm-hmm.
We do have, I guess we have 4 draws this upcoming turn though.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Are you talking about for Elijah, or does Joe have 4 draws?
Yeah, Elijah has 4 draws.
No,
3 stars in the draw step.
He could maybe put them in together, but yeah, he drew a land for one of them, so that's not going to help. Got another sword. That's not what he wants either. Trying to draw more thought cast, floating the blue. Makes sense. You got another
It's how much
path.
man? Ooh,
It's like fine. I don't know if it's
okay.
it's like not ideal. Like he really wants to just like go crazy with the permanent, and he doesn't really have that. Oh, he can't.
Yeah. So
Can he leave a path? He can. He's gonna leave a path.
now we have a Part the Water Veil in hand, which if you awaken it, it's 9 mana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 mana. So that path might come in handy if we put a
Yeah.
6/6 into play.
Yeah, and the sword, like I was kind of talking down about it a little bit, but like it does allow Elijah to block the 2/2s like profitably.
Yeah.
It's just putting like Joe's just putting so much pressure on him right now. It's insane.
Well, I don't know. Oh, so he goes for the enchantment instead of
He still has 9, right? He has 6 with the Wolf Willow lands, and
2, 3,
then
4, 5,
8
6, 7, 8.
swamps, and then the Eldrazi spawn. I think he could have gone for it.
Oh, I didn't see the Eldrazi.
I think he's trying to respect the counter magic a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh.
Okay, that was a good draw.
That was
for
that was
Elijah.
a pretty sick rip. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna be
That
able
was
to
pretty
make
insane.
4 Thopters to do like he can basically just put up just the wall, the absolute wall right now.
Right. Well, it's an attacking wall. I mean, like how many turns until we have lethal on board?
Probably a bunch, but he's at least doing a really good job of stabilizing.
Oh, so we're making
good.
4 Thopters this turn. Okay.
All right, is he just going
So we
for
drew
okay.
Kiora best the sea god.
That's a good one, yeah.
Again, modern state.
Yep, nothing but modern staples and 5 ticks. But yeah, that is a
So-
good one. He's going to be able to basically like tempo out Elijah. Well, it's going to be harder actually because Elijah's actually going wide, but it also makes
Yeah.
8/8. It kind of does a lot for just one card. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. For all of you uncultured chumps who don't know what Kiora best the sea god does off the top of your head, the first saga or the first chapter, what do they call it? You create an 8/8, which we just saw. Saga 2, tap all non-land permanents target opponent controls, and they don't untap during the next untap step. And then the last one, gain control of target permanent. Kind of insane. I mean, it's a 7 mana card, so I think it's fine at that power level, but it's kind of insane.
Yeah, and Joe's deck is very interested in insane cards for 7 mana, so it makes a lot of sense he wants to play it.
Right. So I tapped out a path. Oh, no, it's not Joe's end step. So you probably have the path as 8/8, which gives us the 6/6 off the
hexproof.
Oh, it has hexproof.
But we
Awesome.
can't jump it forever, so that's nice.
Oh.
This does. Yeah, just we gotta dodge some draw steps, but like this is looking. This is looking like maybe Elijah can turn the corner.
Yeah, I think he's turning the corner. Like I said, like there's really not that much time until we just have lethal in play. It's like this turn he puts 6 attackers into play in conjunction with the 6 attackers he already has. Puts Elijah down or Joe down to 2.
Yeah. Yeah, just like we were talking about in the first matchup, I'm just thinking about just the absolute power of like some of Joe's draw steps. It like just really compounds the problem from Elijah's perspective. Like just every single draw step that Joe gets from this position is just potentially representing winning the game.
Right. Does Elijah have counter magic in hand? What's his hand looking like?
He's got 1 metallic rebuke and the path.
Okay.
So just runner kind of like on the stuff he had 2 turns ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That were both pretty good for him. Like he countered polymorph and he pathed. What did he path before? Oh, the chariot. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, for sure. So here it looks like we're going for an I don't know, just make some 2/2s. Okay.
Man, pyroclasm on this board though.
Yeah, but our draw for turn, I didn't say this, but obviously it was Colony Garden. So it looks like Elijah might have this. going like assuming that the game ends in 2 turns for like in Elijah's favor, we are going into game 3 with Joe probably having like 5 minutes on clock.
That
It's not
could be
nothing.
kind of rough, but also like I think this deck from Joe like is able to like catch you up a lot, you know, from a time deficit, just because you can just sort of make land drops and win. It's not as time intensive as, like, for example, Elijah's deck with like he has to cast like a bunch of spells. He has to take like a million game actions with the Thunder Foundry. But he's doing a good job of staying ahead on clock, so that shouldn't be an issue for him. But yeah, no,
for sure. But I mean,
sure.
like, seen
Yeah,
I mean,
six
Joe had it this
no
game, right? Like he had the turn 3 polymorph, and it just wasn't good enough to win.
Yeah, like he did what he wanted to do with the sideboarding. I think it was really smart, just bringing in his like his Beseiju to and like his answers to a bunch of permanents and stuff. I think it's just like an issue of like Elijah just had what he needed and Joe like whiffed at some crucial time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that Kelney garden was a which emergent ultimatum, like that would have been insane.
Yeah, maybe,
Like,
but I mean, then like we had that other path in hand, right?
we do, yeah. Yeah, so now
I think it's probably a little bit too late for that.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then I wonder if Elijah's gonna leave up. I think that because I think the Thopterms might be blue, so I think they might be able to pay for even the colored mana on. Is that how improvise works? I think so.
No, so
So-
improvise only takes away colorless mana. It reduces the cost by 1 colorless mana for each artifact you tap.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, so we drew a World Chief for turn. So it looks like Elijah just has it.
Mm.
Just make a bunch of Thopters, chump block our stuff so he doesn't die. Or I guess he doesn't need a chump block. And then swing for lethal.
I think you are correct, Serra. And I yeah, just to finish my thought from before, I wonder if he is he's gonna leave up his like just all of his permission. Like he has more than enough for lethal right now, so this all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I have no reason to tap out of stuff.
Yeah. Are we parting the Waterville?
Going for the trying to.
Oh,
Is Elijah going to rebuke that?
yep. Yes, we are.
Water has not been parted. Joe is no Moses. All right, game 3. Man, that was sick. Joe had it that game. Turn 3 polymorph. And it wasn't good enough. It was kind of sweet.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what you were saying about that. Did Joe have an opportunity to go for it when the path was not available?
No,
Or did Elijah
that's what I was saying.
Elijah representing the path?
Yeah, so the path was always held up.
Okay.
Which I mean, props to Joe for not going for it too. I think I definitely would have tried for it there. It worked out well for me. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Where like Joe had exactly what he wanted to do. He had the turn 3 polymorph, and it just was not good enough. So we have kind of a weird hand from Joe here. We're keeping 7. We have World Tree, Forest, Explore, Polymorph, Worst Fears, Gross, Spasm. So we had no way to turn on the tokens, but we have the Polymorph.
Seems good. Yeah. So yeah, Elijah had a mulligan. He just had a 1-lander. He had everything else he wanted, but just not enough mana sources. And then now he's kept 3 lands, and like it's kind of like it's got a path, like it's got some stuff, but he drew a land for a turn that's not good. He's just got a bunch of tap lands, and it's like not the best for him.
Dang. What kind of interaction would you have? Like any paths or
Yeah, we got one
Our
path.
spells.
That's the main
Okay.
attraction to this hand. We got that and a Sojourner's Companion.
Okay. Oh no, we just drew Kiora Best, the Sea God. As we got two of the Ultimatum payoffs. You have Worst Fears and the Saga in hand here.
Bet Joe would like a few Brainstorm and that sort of deck, eh?
Be pretty good. Brainstorm's probably 5 ticks legal. It's just not modern legal.
Yeah.
Actually, now I'm curious. Price check on Brainstorm online. Maybe that'd be interesting. Oh, yep, 3 cents it looks like.
Yeah, we could try maybe like I don't know, Legacy 5 ticks.
Vintage 5 ticks would be pretty great, I think.
Oh, you wanted a vintage? Sure. Yeah, why not? Cool. Sounds good.
There might be some absolute busted stuff that comes out of that.
Yeah, like potentially like have to do some kind of ban list. Like I don't know. Like I'm assuming some restricted cards are like really cheap for some reason. Anyway,
So
nothing much from.
We have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just saying we have 2 polymorphs here, but no way to create another token. So I'm assuming here we just go for a polymorph, it gets path, and then hopefully we can draw another one before Elijah draws a path.
He has a backup polymorph.
Right. Yeah, our draw for turn was the second
That's pretty
polymorph.
good.
Yeah, we have no other way to get a token, but you know,
does he have a way to use the mana off of the spawn this turn, or is he just gonna get the land? Do you think?
No. Yeah, he's just gonna get the land. So our hand right now is Worst Fears, Kiora, Best the Sea God, and polymorph.
Elijah's found a Psy, which I wasn't paying attention during sideboarding, but I was thinking that he had boarded those out last time, so maybe he decided like on the draw he wants it. He may have left one.
It is decent pressure, so I can take over a game pretty quickly.
Yeah, like if we get into a kind of a board stall like we had last game, then like it would have been fine for sure. Yeah, this is really awkward for Elijah. Like he's holding up as much mana as he can, or he's looking like he wants to, but he really doesn't have any interaction for that polymorph that's looming, and he really wants to draw something good off this because he's just looking at playing Psy basically. He's got Aethersworn Canonist to draw, which is like
that's good against the Ultimatum.
The Ultimatum, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not good against
go gadget tokens.
Yeah, and he's representing path with that remaining.
Oh no, Joe, stop talking in chat. You gotta go, man.
Uh-oh.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. You gotta go. All right, so when any token in our hand gets really good really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we just have a lot of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, we can just hard cast the Serra's Emissary. Awesome.
I wonder if he's gonna name
on my radar.
Again.
I would assume so, yeah.
It did seem to work out really well for him, regardless of what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean here I think it's definitely a name. Like
yeah,
he's shown us neither of the combo pieces. It's gonna be kind of hard to overrun the board for this state. Oh no, Joe. Joe, stop talking. You gotta go, man. You gotta go. Gotta go fast.
We found a Sword of the Meek. Yeah, this is all looking a little meek. That's a good word for it. I think Elijah's just trying to figure out like how he wants to, like what he wants to represent. Yeah, he wants to. Well, does it make sense to represent path? Because like he wouldn't be able to play it. I mean, yeah, he like whatever mana he leaves out. Like he couldn't have like a super mana turn. I think he could have gone like Sword of the Meek into Companion, just tapping all the way out. But like I think he's just trying to like get as set up as possible if he gets another turn, which is Psy making more tokens.
Sure. So here it looks like we're casting Kiora Bests the Sea God.
You see if Joe's gonna be able to best the Affinity creatures.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, that Kraken is never getting past.
Wow. This is awesome. This is awesome. Someone who just loves Magic. Like watching these 5-6 games has just been great.
Yeah, just grinning like an idiot over here. We got some.
Just get to 7
making them
mana cast.
creatures.
Yeah.
Is it
Get
next
to
turn
7
that we
mana
get
cast
tapped
unbeatable
out?
spells. That?
Yeah. So is Joe gonna get chapter 2 on the saga next turn?
Yes. Yes.
I
Sagas
don't-
enter with the first.
I
What's that?
think Elijah's just gonna be straight up dead on board. Like he's not
Yeah,
able to
that's
make
kinda what I'm seeing.
creatures to block at instant speed. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
dead on board.
conceding. I think. Well, he's saying so in the chat, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Kiora Best the Sea God. Heard it
Cool
here first, guys. Go
match.
put it in your modern decks. Yeah, that was awesome. That really was great. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I mean, one, as somebody who loves Magic, this was an awesome game. I just got to see cool things cast. And two, the Affinity kind of leaning more towards the overwhelming value plan. I think probably being better on the long average. I think lined up slightly weaker against Joe here. All right, Joe with the 2-0. That was sick. Those are some pretty incredible games. Like I was saying at the beginning, Elijah's deck, I think, while like the overwhelming value flood the board plan is probably pretty good on the long end, I think it played into a strength of Joe's deck where he can kind of just, no matter the board state, come out from nowhere and win. But those are sick games. I don't know, anything you want to say about that, Dan?
That was just some great Magic, and I'm glad that both players' decks got to do what they wanted to do some of the time. But yeah, that was just an absolute dominant performance from Joe's deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. We got to see a whole lot of what Joe wanted to do, a little bit of what Elijah wanted to do. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to the next one. You guys have a good one.
Welcome back, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that match. Hope it wasn't too long for all of your tastes. The rest of this week's results in our second week of this Team Modern Super League. Some of the highlights. Grimm's Avengers rebounding from getting crushed 3-0 last week, taking down the sweep. So the reverse sweep in week 1, taking down the true sweep in week 2, only dropping 1 game to Ian's Plumcrats, but Dogfish's Thing, Nastia's Horses, and Juggernaut's Burn really getting the job done. Bust Down Liliana with another solid week, moving up into first place. We just saw Joanneth take down that match against Affinity, and Mirabito's cycling deck was also able to get over the line against Waterfalls. Drake's picking up the only win for end of turn against Blue Tempo, but some really close matches there. Each match going to 3 games. And the BBEs, after sweeping Grimm's Avengers last week, it brought down the size a little bit. Frogtown carrying the day for the BBEs, doing Frogtown things against Ninjas, but Rakdos Intolerant were able to pick up a couple wins with Blue-White Control and Snackdos. And the struggles continue for Classic Cigarettes and Jack Daniels number 7. They went 1-2 last week, and this week 0-3. Really just kind of getting crushed by Grimm's Avengers there. And as you can see, that drops Classic Cigarettes to last place in our standing. So Classic Cigarettes do have the bye in week 3, so they'll have some time to try to figure out where things went wrong, strategize, and regroup. But as we mentioned, Bust Down Liliana moves into first place after 2 weeks with 4 points, and they sit on top of the BBEs by virtue of their team game win percentage, which is our tiebreaker. And Rakdos Intolerant moves up into our playoff spot through 2 weeks. Grimm's Avengers with a big move up, and Multa 1 takes a big fall down. So that is our week 2 recap. We've had some great matches thus far. I know the teams are really starting to get into it, and we'll see what week 3 brings. Thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.